workshop is Jazz 101, but we're kind of leaving the realms of 101 now and getting into a little more complicated stuff. So if you're new to jazz, this is still going to be very important to look at because it's going to help you understand that a lot of things, when the tempos change, when it gets faster, a lot of us tend to think, oh, I need more hand technique, I need more speed, but that's not the case necessarily. You have to understand how rhythm works. So we've been investigating the 3-bar cycle. The 3-bar cycle is the key to your phrasing in jazz, okay? Why? Because it allows you to have rhythmic dimension. Every great jazz drummer in the world does this. From Tony Williams to Elvin to Vinnie Colaiuta to Dave Weckl to, everybody. It doesn't exist to play without this, okay? So, without the 3-bar cycle. Now, I'm going to give you a little example first of what it sounds like without the 3-bar cycle, okay? What time sounds like without 3-bar cycle work, okay? Listen to this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sounds super square. All right, you need to have the 3-bar cycle in there to give it that driving, rolling feeling. Without that, you're going to be super square, okay? So, let me just play for you now a little bit with the 3-bar cycle. 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so you're going to notice a big difference in sound there and texture and everything. Your creativity is going to be massive once you get this incorporated into your playing, okay? So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to learn the 3-bar cycle. So now let's get into the intricacies of it. In the last workshop, we saw how cycles okay? Now, cycles generally live where the time is generated, okay? In jazz, it's generated from the top end of the kit, not the bottom, all right? So the ride cymbal is gonna have a lot of that 3-bar cycle in it, and that's what's gonna provide that rolling kind of feel, okay? So just to review from last workshop, this is the 3-bar cycle. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you might have seen the 3 melodies to that in the last workshop. Now we're going to work on the permutations, okay? Permutations simply means variations. So you're going to have quite a bit of these under your belt. And of course, these permutations can go into infinity once you add the next steps, which are augmentation and diminution and all the other type of phrasing there is in jazz, okay? Let's just take the first permutation. Now, you are going to remember from the last workshop the first melody, okay, starting on the downbeat, which is that one I just played. All right, now you're going to do what I call permutation 1, which is 2 notes and then 1 note on each beat of the cycle, okay? So slowly, it's going to sound like this, 2 and 1, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's permutation 1. 2 notes and then 1 note on each beat of the cycle. You have the melodies Okay, remember the three different melodies. Now, if you take the same permutation onto melody 2, which is moved over by an eighth note, that's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if you take the third melody and do the same permutation, this is what it's going to sound like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so those are the three melodies with the first permutation. Now, let's take permutation 2. It's just reversed. 1 and 2. Instead of 2 and 1, it's 1 and 2. Okay, so the first melody is going to sound like this. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now the same permutation with the second melody. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the third melody with the same permutation. Okay, 1 and 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have, an infinite amount of permutations that you can do there. You can do 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, But fortunately for us, there's only a certain amount that really get played in jazz. You don't need to do an astronomical study of all these cycle variation, permutation possibilities, because that's not how it works, okay? So even though you're only doing maybe 5 of the permutations, mathematically it works out to be a tremendous amount of vocabulary because of the other things that you do. Okay, now let's just take one more permutation so you can get a kind of an example of an idea of what it's going to sound like. So that's going to be 4, okay? 4, 4, 4. Instead of 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, it's going to be 4, 4, 4. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if you apply the second melody to that, it's going to sound like this. Now if you apply the third melody to that same permutation, it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so as you can see, that creates this rolling, incredibly beautiful phrasing. And when you mix those things, when you mix everything and you mix the melodies together, it's going to sound something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Let's go Google Days. Mach deinen Alltag smarter mit der Vielfalt von Google Pixel. Tracke deine Fitnessdaten direkt am Handgelenk mit deiner Pixel Watch. Nimm beeindruckende Fotos und Videos mit deinem Pixel Smartphone auf und erledige ein